You ever notice how the Conservatives have turned talking a country down into an art form? It doesn't matter what the numbers say, growth's up, unemployment's low. They'll find a way to spin it into the end times. Today was Andrew Griffith's turn to deliver the sermon of despair. We had GDP figures better than expected. Fastest G7 growth in the first half of the year, unemployment nowhere near stagflation territory, but no, apparently we're all getting poorer and living in some economic wasteland. The man could win the lottery and still complain that the notes aren't crisp enough. And I've got to hand it to Wilf Frost here, a definite step up from last time. He actually pushed back, pointing out the positive data, reminding Griffith that unemployment isn't surging, and that, shock horror, this month's results were good. It was refreshing to see a Conservative made to defend their own words rather than just letting the gloom go unchallenged. But this isn't an accident. This is Tory's strategy now. Keep the public feeling hopeless. If you convince people the country is broken beyond repair, you don't have to answer for why it's broken, or the fact that you were in power for 14 years when it got this way. Instead, you can just shake your head and mutter darkly about resets and black holes like some doomsday preacher that also happens to be very worried about inheritance tax. It's the same playbook every time. Ignore the signs of improvement, amplify every negative, and keep repeating that we can't afford nice things. Because if people start to believe things are getting better, they might also start asking, why didn't they get better sooner? And that, my friends, is a question the Tories never want to answer.
Firstly, your reaction to the GDP data, which was better than expected.
I don't know, it depends what your expectations were. It was a slowdown in the second quarter of the year. What it sort of means, Wilf, is we've had the unemployment figures, we've had the inflation figures, and it's pretty much confirming we're in a period of stagflation. That means the economy is not growing, but cost of living in ordinary people's weekly shop is going up at a much faster rate, about 10 times faster than the economy is growing. So we're all getting poorer. We've seen these huge borrowing figures from the Chancellor. The National Institute for Economic and Social Research has talked about a potential 50 billion black hole. And the one thing you know, particularly given the level of public debt we've already got in this country, we're borrowing just to pay the interest, is you can't tax your way out of this. So it really is a big moment for the Chancellor. We can't have any more of this talk about taxing, aspiration, taxing inheritance, driving more people overseas. It's time for a big reset, and that needs to be about public spending.
I mean, with all due respect, Andrew, that sort of tone to the data would have been fair last month, where in May we did see a decline, but June was much better than expected, strong you'd even say, at 0.4, 0.5%. April was revised upwards, and if you extrapolate the first half of the year, the annual rate is 2.2%, but the first half of the year is showing the UK growing at the fastest pace in the G7. And stagflation is a bit of a leap. We haven't got sharply rising unemployment. We haven't got elevated unemployment, even if the direction of travel might have changed recently. So, this month's data was a lot better than expected.
We should play those games of expectation. Look, you make some fair points, but you'll know the rate of inflation is running at twice the rate of the growth of the economy. That's not sustainable. We've now got unemployment, particularly amongst young people, even before the impact of things like the Employment Rights Bill, 300 pages of red tape, which every business and employer that you will speak to tells you that's having a damaging, chilling effect on employment. We've got A-level results today. We have wonderful, well-educated young people in this country who will either look for a job or look for a job after having gone to college. Youth unemployment, employment between people between 18 and 25, is now 11% getting on for 12%. There's a slow burn crisis in our public finances. So I'm not all doom and gloom. Any growth is better than no growth at all. But really, it's not a conversation about the sort of economy that we want to be when we're, there's no doubt the Chancellor will be doing, bragging about 0.3% growth at a time when people will go down to the supermarket this weekend and they will see the cost of their shopping basket going up at a much faster rate.
Yeah, I don't think the tone of her statement was bragging, but either way, we can move forward.
And if you missed Wilf Frost just allowing Mel Stride to lie unchallenged, well, you can see me debunking his claims in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.